Good afternoon from the Asia Europe Foundation here in Singapore. My name is Leonie Nagarajan from ASEF's Education Department, and I will be your host today. And together with my education colleagues, Freya Chow-Paul and Quentin Fayed, I warmly welcome you to the 4th ASEF Young Leaders Summit on Sustainable Development in a Post-COVID-19 World. So this ASEF Young Leaders Summit is, as you know, the official youth event of the 13th ASEM Summit, which is hosted by the Government of Cambodia this week. And during this Young Leaders Summit, we focused on 4 Sustainable Development Goals: SDG 3, Good Health and Well-being; SDG 4, Quality Education; SDG 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth; and SDG 13, Climate Action. So today we are speaking about SDG 3, and we are going to invite our ASEFYLS4 teams and participants who developed leadership and action projects over the last 6 months related to this SDG to step forward and present their work and learning. We are happy that our online audience comes again from over 51 Asian European countries. So we think it's nice if you send some greetings in the chat, if you share with us a message where you are from, and obviously comment also, give some notes of encouragement to our presenters today. We have note-taking services available for you, so please refer to the link which is provided in the chat. And we've also ensured that all presentations and PowerPoint slides will be accessible and screen reader friendly. A big thanks to our inclusion advisors, James Chan from Singapore and Parkat Yusupianov from Kazakhstan. They helped us making this possible. So maybe we start with a brief overview of the ASEF Young Leaders Summit and to share also the framework for our session today. Those who participated obviously know it was a 10-month-long leadership program. It was ASEF's longest youth program which we ever ran. That was partially due to the pandemic, but we also wanted to make it really substantial in terms of content, in terms of actions on the ground. And we are happy that we had 180 young leaders from all the 51 ASEM countries on board. So if you look at this overview, then you see that there have been a number of program elements included, but I would like to focus on 3 parts. So we started in February with an intensive knowledge building phase on the SDGs and leadership. We included webinars, we put a strong emphasis on intercultural online collaborations, on communication campaigns to really share also the knowledge and to disseminate what our participants have learned to a wider audience. And we also, and that's the connection with the ASEM process, we organized several virtual youth dialogues with ASEM leaders. Then in June, after this intensive knowledge building and creating a foundation on the SDGs and leadership, we thought we need some action phase. We grouped our participants in 15 teams, and they jointly developed and implemented leadership and action activities on a local community level, but also online. And that was really a demonstration how they and youth can contribute to the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals. So now this week, next to the 13th ASEM Summit week, we reunite again in a larger group, we reflect, and we hope that we will present to you today the outcomes of this Young Leaders program, and you can see what kind of impact we have created. So we'll focus on the leadership and action activities. So the center is really on our young people. In total, as I said, 15 leadership and action projects led by our participants across ASEM countries, and all of them focused on one of the 4 ASEFYLS4 thematic areas, so SDG 3, 4, 8, or 13. And it's, a wonderful example to see really how youth is promoting, is driving the Agenda 2030 and sustainable development. So we look forward to 3 presentations today. We had 3 leadership and action projects on SDG 3, and we will listen first to them. Afterwards, we will engage in a conversation. I encourage our online audience, our young leaders participants to ask questions about the project itself, about the process. And if you have a comment, encouragement, then our presenters and our teams will be definitely happy to hear from you. So let's start with number 1. Our first project is across ASEM and the stigma period. I think the name says it, or gives at least a very, very strong hint. I see Robina saying yes. And Rubina Akhtar, she has been our navigator for this project, the team leader, and she's joined today by Ashraya Set from India and Audrey Hoffman from France, who will present, and Rubina is there also to provide any further questions. Go ahead, team. We are already now proud of you, but listening very carefully what you have done over the last 6 months. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Leonie, for this great introduction, and also Freya for all the time supporting us. So today, I would like to also once again welcome everyone to our team across ASEM and stigma period. So the team is representing, as Leonie already mentioned, we represent SDG 3, Sustainable Development Goal 3. And as mentioned already, I'm from Bangladesh, and I am co-founder of also an organization called Campaign Red that works mainly on the stigma around menstruation in Bangladesh. So this opportunity through the Leadership in Action project, it was a gold opportunity for us to get connected and work with these young stars from at least 12 ASEM countries that make up the team. So today my colleagues Ashriya from India and Audrey from France will take us through the impact that we try to make throughout the time, and I hope that you enjoy. And once again, thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you. Ashriya and Audrey, over to you.
Thank you, Rubina. So ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon. So I'm going with Ashraya to present you the project 1 named the End of Stigma Period. And as Leonie said, this one is incorporated into the further good of goal of sustainable development, good health and well-being. So let's move on. Visible. I'll go back because share screen. Is it okay now? No. Okay, so the agenda. Excuse me for the technical problem. So this is our layout for the next 12 minutes. In a moment, I will introduce our team. Again, thanks to them for their work and their investment in the project. You have to know that we have decided for better effectiveness to divide into 2 teams or group under the control of Rubina. So we had a communication team with Patricia, Johnny, Yum, Alicia, Yosra, and Francisque, and we have also a research team with Lambe, Charvenbos, Astraya, and I. So who are we? Well, we are 12 young people from 12 different countries in Asia and in Europe. 12 girls and boys who have chosen to fight gender inequality and period poverty. We are change makers, and also we are hopeful about a just world without stigma. To the floor, Shreya. Ashreya.
Okay, it seems we have a little technical issue right now. Ashreya, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, but I can't view the screen right now.
Okay.
Then we try again. Let's know. Now we see the screen.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. It's okay. Good.
Excellent. So, right after we kicked off our leadership and action session, we did an internal stakeholder discussion while we delved into 2 specific questions, and one being the critical role young people can play to eradicate period poverty, and how can social media be instrumental in achieving awareness and around the issue, and looking particularly in the ASEM countries. Our major objective was to establish a connection between young change makers and the existing Campaign Red, which is already doing some exceptional work in Bangladesh and around on changing stigmatized practices and attitudes around menstruation. Could you please change the slide? Excellent. So yes, our major objective while delving, looking down on those questions were basically, establish a collection of linkages between young change makers and the existing Campaign Red, which is doing some great work in Bangladesh and around, and changing some stigmatized practices and attitudes surrounding menstruation. And for that, we undertook a research analysis of country policies and the existing nuances where we as a team can bridge that gap. Can you change the slide, please?
Yeah. So the activities that we conducted, as I said before, so we have decided to share the work into main parts. So about, first of all, the research team, we have decided to share the working function of our skills. So we are looking for a social way, an historical and law way, a political and international way, and also a medical way. Add to this, we made a survey to understand the view of people and see where problems really are. And between us, we made a lot of debates to be able to be more open-minded and understand the point of view in function of the region that we come from and that we study to. Then about the communication team, this team creates a social media campaign about awareness. They create an Instagram and a Facebook account to sensibilize people all around the world. The aim was to be able to sum up clearly technical information and to deliver a clear message during this course. So indeed, during this year, we fight all of us against myths and stereotypes about period and these consequences. These stereotypes touch everyone, boys as well as girls. In knowledge, as you see, you can get pregnant on your period, but also about attitudes. For example, women are irrational during the period. Or practice, women cannot pray because they are impure during period. And which is very interesting here. This example comes from 6 different countries in Europe, but also in Asia. So the problem is more global, and it was what it's interesting for. So as I said before, communicating is in our style. Indeed, we have developed a campaign which supports the RED campaign. We will talk about it later. And this campaign presents our project, our volunteer, and our claim: connect, collaborate, and contribute. And in this campaign that we made, we try to answer global question. As we can see, is sexual intercourse necessarily unhealthy during period? And also, but also to deconstruct some myths for helping people, creating debate, and also reassuring women all around the world. So here you can have some example of what we produce.
Right. So apart from the group initiatives which we took, there are a couple of us took some groundbreaking individual initiatives to support the work which we are already doing in Project One. One of which is where one of the teammates from India invented India's most affordable sanitary pad vending machine, which costs only £20 and has a capacity of 25 biodegradable pads. So the USP of the project, of the product, is it is extremely portable, user and environmental friendly, bridges the gap of accessibility of menstrual products in public schools. To give you a perspective, there are around 23 million girls who drop out of school every year in India at the time they start menstruating. So the other initiative which was taken in Bangladesh was to celebrate 28 May World Menstruation Day. This was done on a large scale and which comprises of beneficiaries relating to schoolgirls and also other different stakeholders. And there were several other initiatives which were taken from our colleagues. Please change. Yeah. So yes, my colleague Audrey was talking about the work which we did in communication. So you can find a bit about that on our social media channels. One is on Instagram and also on Facebook. Thank you. All right. So apart from the group activities and the individual initiatives and a lot of internal discussions, external discussions, and the research which we conducted, there were two key things which we thought would be a great as a next step. One is setting up a network of menstrual rights activists. So the beauty of the project is we are representing 51 ASEM countries. And the best part of our group is we have 12 members and we are representing 12 ASEM countries. So we already have 12 change makers in working in menstrual hygiene management from 12 ASEM countries. So this is our starting point. We have already, we will be, so basically ASEF leadership is sort of a launch pad to set up this this network, and it is open for all 51 countries and otherwise as well. The other output for this as a next step, which we've decided, is the amount of research which we've done in a lot of areas, which includes policies, gaps, stigmas, along with some groundbreaking initiatives which were taken in ASEM countries. We have recorded that in a document. We are finalizing the format, and we will release it as sort of a white paper for reference for all countries, and also as one of the takeaways from the project one, which will be called as ASEF analysis report on menstruation. So yeah, that's about it. That's a bit of work which we've done, and thanks for the team, and yeah, thank you for listening. We are open to questions there at the end.
I think the question we'll see later.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much to the three of you for sharing the work over the last 6 months, and the output is really impressive. Ashraya mentioned 23 million girls drop out of school once period starts for some time. I read today statistics again from WHO that 12.8% of women and girls worldwide live in poverty. 1.25 billion women and girls have no access to a safe and private toilet. There are the keywords. Rubina knows that, you know that, period poverty, menstrual equity, which we need to promote. So it's a very, very important issue to tackle. And as Audrey has mentioned through the research, interesting enough, it's not only in Bangladesh, in developing countries, there are a lot of prejudices and stigma also in other countries. So while I wait for participants either from our ASEFYLS group or online to share questions, if any, on the chat, I have exactly on that point the first question. When you did your research and you compared, were there certain, what were the differences, what were similarities? Maybe you can go a little bit more into detail in this. Audrey, you hinted a few, but maybe that would be interesting to see.
I'll begin, Ashray, and you could add things after if you want. About the research, the thing was very interesting is politically, because I'm in a political and international relationship. So my part was more about this way. And I see that in Europe, especially, but also in Asia, you have a problem about political systems who completely avoid the question, which is for politicians not always interesting. And it's not always just a problem of a society, but really a political problem too. And everyone just close their eyes of it when you are in Europe, but also in Asia. And I absolutely don't perceive this thing at the beginning of my work. So I was very happy to contribute to this project for that, because I learned a lot of things too. And also how can I say that? I just forget some stereotypes too, because when you begin, all of us we have also some myths in ourselves. So it was very interesting.
Thanks, Audrey. Anything to add, Shreya or Rubina?
Just a quick point to add, the comparative analysis which when we start doing of these 51 ASEM countries, I think something which we realized was there was a common problem which was in the global south that was relating to the affordability of the menstrual products. So, and when we looked at the other side of the things from the European perspective, I think it was more of accessibility. So people can afford there, but their accessibility was a challenge. But when we were looking for countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and all these Southeast Asian countries, I think affordability was a huge challenge. And also there are some very good policies which were taken by many European countries, like removing the tampon tax or making period products available in schools or colleges, universities. But I think there's a lot of work which needs to be done in South Asia, because this is something which is not being taken at the moment. But yeah, so I think when we will be presenting working on the paper, so I think this will come as sort of a reference or recommendation for countries in the global South, South Asia. So, because these are some good initiatives, policy initiatives, which were taken by the senior leadership in the country. And this is something which can be replicated in the different parts of the country. Thank you.
And also, maybe if I can share one point, I think it's really it is what we have seen, but also in terms of stigma, it's not too much of difference. Like when you talk about the way people look at menstruation and the way we understand the issue of women's issue, menstruation as a women issue. So we feel like what the survey result shows that it's not so much difference in Asia or Europe. So that's where actually I think SDG 3 people still has a lot of work to do in terms of deconstructing the idea of menstruation and taking it into further more than just the health issue, but also well-being issue overall. Thank you.
I have a follow-up question before I then share the first question from the audience. You mentioned this an ASEM report on menstruation. That is where probably your hint also comes. It's a political problem, so we have to really highlight this. I'm curious, when is it finalized? Do you have already a timeline? You shared, and that's lovely to see. I mean, you shared that you have really sustainability plans for your project, and I mean, the project was very closely linked to the NGO campaign, right, which Rubina is leading in Bangladesh. It's linked to a larger UN women's campaign. For this report, is it already in planning, it's in preparation, some parts are done. When is the production time?
I think we've already, put up most things together. We are just narrowing it down to what will come in the final paper. We should be having that ready by end of this year, and we are planning to launch it early January. So that's something which is a realistic timeline we've kept for us. Yeah. Okay,
fantastic. Thank you so much. And if anybody is interested in still contributing or getting in contact with you, then they can do this for the ASEFYLS at asef.org email. I have two questions from the audience, both from Jana. Thank you so much, Jana. One question is a larger one. What would you consider a success to your project? So that's a question which you can answer. And the second one is a practical one. What would you consider? Would you consider any eco-friendly replacements for menstrual products?
Okay, may I? So I think yes, there are a lot of eco-friendly options for menstrual products. I mean, we clearly understand that one sanitary pad takes around 700 or 800 years to properly decay, and it's very harmful for climate change. But there are options for menstrual cups, tampons, which are available easily. But I think all these things comes with a lot of stereotypes in a country like India, because virginity is still a concept, and using menstrual cups, that becomes a challenge. Even for tampons. Something which is an alternate, affordable and accessible is basically biodegradable pads, which we are sort of also promoting, and also cloth pads. So these are the two alternates, which is affordable and longer term, and also climate friendly.
And I will add something about that. When it's good for the environment, it's also good for our health. If you use better products, like for tampons, for example, something like this, it would be also better for the health of the woman. And it's very important because all we know that tampons sometimes we predict there are very bad for your health. So yeah, I think we can have clearly the both things.
Thank you so much. Rubina, you comment maybe on the last question. What would be a success for the project?
Yeah,
already.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, because we really already, I mentioned that we enjoyed the collaboration. So it was a fantastic collaboration coming from a different 12 countries, and even not even 12 countries, covering 3 regions. So it's like a geographically and economically and in every way we are different. But then when we came here and started thinking, we could see the opportunity to work further. So we just say that maybe for the time being, we say that the one success that we share is that the collaboration that has been created already and the understanding and the work that we have done. So we celebrate this collaboration. I say that that's the biggest success. And of course, quantitatively talking about, we have done this research and we have now pretty good idea about what's going on. And also we see the opportunity if one of our members, they're also trying to explore the opportunity, they can replicate that program. The way campaign is working in Bangladesh, can it be worked in Cambodia or Cyprus? So we are seeing this opportunity as well. So we created a very strong network of people who care about this situation. I think that's our success. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Robina. Thanks so much to the 3 of you and your whole project team. We will share the social media platforms which you have created to further contribute to accurate information on the topic, to frank, honest information. And yeah, wishing you all the best. Looking forward to the report and anything else which is the outcome of this long-term project linked also to the campaign. Right? Fantastic. Thank you so much. We stay within the context of SDG 3, but we are now focusing. And I'm waiting for the, yes, we are now focusing on a slightly different target group, a younger target group. The project is called Little Bubbles, and it's led by Laurence from Belgium, who's unfortunately not able to join us today. That was the navigator, but she has 3 strong committed team members who are with us. Sofyan Sam from Cambodia, Stefano Torresi from Italy, and Laura Alziao Chaikte. I try my best, Laura. I know we know each other for several years, but it's still a challenge from Lithuania. You're laughing about me and my pronunciation. I did my best. I'm happy to listen now to you and to the Little Bubbles project. It's a lovely activity.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay, everything is clear there?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, yep. So I'm going to start right away. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. And thank you, Leonie, for facilitating here, and Freya for all the work behind the Zoom meetings, and everyone who are here with us today. So my name is Nguyen Sam. I'm representing Cambodia, together with my team member Laura from Lithuania and Stefano from Italy, and the rest of our team who are participating in this project together. So we are going to present you the Little Bubble project at the Soap Factory, which is the second project of the 3rd Sustainable Goals, and our navigator is Laurent from Belgium. So to get started here, I'm going to ask you the questions regarding to these pictures. As you see, a dirty soap. So in this case, if you want to use this soap, what will or how are going like you normally do, whether you wash the soap first or use it directly. I'm going to give you around 10 seconds. Maybe it's enough to write down whether it's 1 or 2, and then after I'm going to tell you the surprising fact about this. Yes. Okay, I'm going to see chat. Okay, one. Okay, 1, all 1. Wow. Okay, we have 2 there. So surprisingly is that biochemical character of soap is kind of self-clean, which means so the second things I want to is that any one of you know nowadays the celebration date.
Sognia, you are breaking a little bit. Your voice is breaking. Can you try to hold the microphone? Yes, that's one thing. But otherwise, if we cannot hear you, maybe Stefano or Laura have to jump in.
What should I do?
Now it seems okay, Joe.
Now is it okay?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I knew this. I apologize for that. I always have bad luck. Okay, so let's go straight to the answer. It's called the Global Washing Day. So with the themes of Our Hands, Our Future. So it's celebrated every year on 15th of October to spread the awareness of hand washing and as well as the hygiene practice globally. So our project is like really similar to this, which is we are going to be the non-profit organizations that is supporting the third UN Sustainable Development Goals of good health and well-being by focusing on the awareness of hygiene practices and as well fostering the intercultural dialogue between primary students in Asia and Europe. So how are we going to do that? Our main activity is going to be first, as mentioned there, is to promote the awareness of hand washing and hygiene practice on children by how we are going to offer the dyed paper soap making kits and a virtual workshop which includes such as easy science behind the soap and as well educational material regarding to hygienic practice and as well other science that we can actually include in the kit program. And by this, we want to support the health and sanitation initiative aimed at children. And our last but not least main activity here is actually to connect the relationship between primary school of the school between Europe and Asia with the theme of the third sustainable goal, which is good health and well-being, as well paving the way of other opportunities regarding to the projects together. So the next presentation, I'm going to hand over to my team's member, Laura from Lithuania. Laura, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jo. Hello, everyone from Lithuanian Forest, as you can see, and very lovely pronunciation, by the way, Leonie. I loved it. So with this project, besides raising awareness to hand washing and hygiene practicing, we also wanted to make this project to be, well, fun and engaging for primary school students as well. Therefore, we discussed a lot, and the side project called Little Letters was born in the process of the discussions. And Little Letters will use the concept of pample, which is, when you exchange letters in person, where the primary school students from Asian and European countries would exchange the real letters about their hand washing and hygiene practices among each other. Here you can see how the project will operate and how the letters will come from one country to another between the primary schools in Asia and Europe. And we, since we have some personal contacts, we are planning to start with the countries where our team members are based in at the moment. And here you can see how the Little Letters as a side project is connected with little bubbles, and I will try my best to explain all this process. So Little Bubbles will sell a range of soap-based products online or physically in Brussels, which is the capital city in Belgium, and the profits it will make from the selling will be used to supporting the awareness campaign, which will raise the awareness to the importance of hand washing and hygiene practicing for children, both in Asia and Europe. And there where Little Letters step in and where everything starts with that part. By using our personal contacts in the team, we will invite the primary schools from Asia and Europe to participate in our initiative. They will have an access to online platform where they will be provided materials for fun educational workshops related to Sustainable Development Goal number 3. And the schools will be invited to actually implement these workshops together. And after doing the workshop in the school, the class will be invited to write a common letter with the help of the teacher, of course, because the primary school students, about the experience they had during the workshops and how it felt to the fellow members from different country. We also see this not only a good thing about, you know, raising awareness for using soap more often, but also as a good chance to get to know other cultures better, getting to know other countries better, and make some friends, you know, living many, many kilometers away from you. And the exchange of the letters will be coordinated by our team. And the letters from each school will be exchanged among different countries. So we will make sure that each school will hear from their peers and also receive the letters in return. And of course, we hope that this will be a good start, not only, you know, as I said, to raise awareness to hygiene practicing, but also as a good start for building up the long-term communication and collaboration between primary schools in different continents. And we really hope that more schools will join this initiative in the future. And now I will pass the floor to my colleague, Stefano.
Thanks, Laura. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. So, talking about the technical details of the Little Soap project, let's see what there is inside the Little Bubble kit. Every school will receive a box containing all the necessary material to create their own paper soap. So, in the dye kit, there will be melt and pour soap, which is the soap base. Several sheets of water-soluble paper that will act as substrate where to pour the melted soap, a brush to distribute the soap all over the paper, some pegs to clip and dry the paper soap, and finally we will add some storage boxes where the children could store their final product. The boxes will be made of waterproof cardboard. Then we will finally add a letter presentation about the Little Letter project, and furthermore extract all the instruction regarding the process to produce the paper soap. Those were the tangible part of the Little Bubble project. However, we will have to spend some additional work to create online platform for schools that we will make the project, the PenPal project, more agile, and we will develop some educational workshop about SDG 3, as you can see from the slide. And moreover, we will create a specific soap kit to be sold to private clients to collect money to financially sustain the project. So we will have to create also an online shop. In the last 6 months, obviously, we have not been working alone. Indeed, we have collaborated with the different partners, both commercial and with institutional, educational institutions. For example, our main soap producer will be Evasica, which is a company based in Belgium, which produce organic soap with ingredients produced by local producer. For the boxes, the storage boxes, we will collaborate with Emilio Scolari, which is a company based in Italy producing tailor-made waterproof cardboard. While for the soluble paper, we will collaborate with Argoe, which is one of the few, if not the unique one, producer of that material in Europe. Obviously, we have worked with the protagonists of the project, which are the educational institution. We have been in close contact with l'Isola che non c'è, which is a school based in Fermo, Italy, which will be the institution where we will help the pilot project, which will assure us some suggestions and opinions from both the students and the teacher in order to make modification or changes to our project before the launch, the big launch with the other school from Europe and Asia. Everything with the hopes to reach a higher number of schools that are initially 5 or 6. Basically, we can see the future plan here schematized. And by the early 2022, we will have the prototype development and testing, and we will close the deal with all the partners, and we will launch the first boxes. Then by July 2022, we will finalize the project feedback and analyzing, where we will develop the box to sell and all the part, the online part regarding the online shop and the platform. Finally, by the end of 2022, we are going to register the Little Bubble Soap Factory as a social enterprise in Brussels. I leave the...
Okay, so it's my chance to introduce our team. Actually, we couldn't get like a full screenshot of everyone's, but yes, we know you see smiling from our team as well. We are a small team, those from Asia and Europe together, but our potential is really big. We know more than 13 languages in the team, so which means in the further future where we going to extend our network and diverse, we are a great team. And besides that, we have different expertise as mentioned in here. So that's how we make green team and the work behind this project before and as well. So yep, that's it first. And thank you a lot for your attention. So there's nothing to say. Thank you for being with us today. And yep, let's build a better tomorrow for our next generation and starting with us today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much to the three of you and to the full team. You definitely also had a good designer with you on board who made this nice, or drew this nice picture at the end of the whole team that looked quite cute, I have to say.
Thanks, Joe.
So, well, I certainly hope that your little bubbles will become soon a very big bubble, many bubbles, and wish you lots of success. It's Joe is the designer. Aha, Laura has revealed it. Very, very nice. So this project is, as our first one, an area which really needs attention. 3 billion people worldwide lack access to hand washing facilities with soap and water. And according to a study by the Global Hygiene Council, 42% of children are not following proper hand hygiene procedures in schools by using soap when they wash their hands. This is a very high and shocking number. So my first question, then I look into the chat for audience questions, is you have created, congratulations, that almost like an ecosystem already, like a good partner system of organizations that can support you. That's fantastic. What kind of additional support would you require? People listening to your presentation, is there any possibility to join? What else is needed? Even though you speak many languages, you have many skills, you have all kinds of professional expertise represented in your team, what else is needed?
Okay, team, let's help each other. Come here. So one thing I would like to say is that if you ask the question who we need or something, we just need everyone to join. Yeah. So that would be the first answer first. And so the reason is that because our project is actually focused on children, so those who are mainly in primary school, but we plan to extend more, or maybe little children as well. But that's the first step we are trying to take in. And I believe those who we really want to join is actually the parents to understand, like to spread more awareness for them. And beside that, we are hoping, like after we register as the social enterprise, we are hoping to have actually the support from finance, but we haven't like take into deeper than that, because what we are planning is actually like to take implementation and starting the process next year. I think that's all for me, but maybe Stefano and Laura, you would like to add something, so please go ahead.
Yes, if I might add, and of course I will not sound very original, but at least when talking about the Lithuania and nearby countries, what we really need is the COVID to end, because because it was when I tried to engage the schools and to join the initiative, they were very up to that and they found the project very interesting. But when I talked with the primary teachers, they said that it's a bit difficult with such little children, they see it like the process that the children gather together, they create something fun, maybe do some drawings for the other school, and it's quite difficult to do when you have online learning. We've been discussing that a lot, and we really hope the things will get back on track, because I believe once you have like everything as it used to be, like you meet physically at school, it would really help our project, to sound more engaging and fun. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, to the situation to get better.
Yeah, guys, if some school or educational institution that is interested in the work, please let us know.
Yes,
we want to
yes.
reach as many schools as possible.
Yes, and those maybe you have your friends or your family, I don't know, like who are a teacher, and as well we are actually looking for them to be a part of it. So as we mentioned, the teacher will be the main facilitator, or how to say, the translator, because we send one letters, the letter from letters from the language it might be different, so we will have some kind of translating service there. So yeah, why not work with us? I have some experience.
You definitely have the support of our ASEF classroom network. We are targeting in this project secondary schools, but the teachers have without doubt networks connections to primary schools, and we are covering 51 countries. So we will be one of your partners, and I think he is coming from Sulawesi, so that's probably the next primary school where you get a contact from. Dennis has a good question. Dennis is from Denmark. Thank you, Dennis. That is a sustainable critical question which needs to be asked. Mm-hmm. Have you thought about the sustainability aspects such as cross-continental shipping, waste management, biodegradable aspects of waterproof cardboard, etc.? What's your answer to that?
Yes. So as you can see, all the producers are from Europe, or all the main suppliers are from Europe. Obviously, in order to reduce the pollution of the shipping from other countries. And the waste management, as you can see, we have opted for waterproof cardboard and not plastic box storage, in order to reduce and to make easy recycling of the waste, of the final waste. And so the project is obviously focused on the sustainability, and we are trying to reduce mainly the plastic in the box. But as you say, the continental shipping, it will be impossible to avoid the pollution produced by these kind of things, because if we have to send the box to Asia, we will need to send it by postal service. There is no other option. We have thought about it, but open a production site in Asia. Actually, it's too early to think in something like it.
I would also like to follow Stefano a little bit regarding to this question, actually, regarding to sustainability aspect. We debate a lot in our group. That's why I put in there, like, we talk a lot about that, like, what should we do? What should we do? So one thing we are clear about that is the little letters, which we decided to use the postal service, because we want to preserve the, the original, how to say, excitement when you receive a letter from someone. So actually our team, we send letter, we send postcard to each other as well, and it's my first time received from actually Laura was the one who sent to me. I was so excited, and I was like, I keep all the postcard there. So but we are not going to send it every day, just I don't know, like 1 or 2 months. So that's how we connect the memory, and it's more we don't want to actually say the technology is bad, but it's really great for your friendship and keep the connection as well. And another thing about the I think I also see the question regarding to the box selling as well. So we would like to actually make it available for everywhere in the globe, but that's not possible at the moment because of the COVID-19, and as well we are still like at the idea. So what we are planning to do, if we want to, like, it's between Asia and Europe, right? So what we plan to do is actually to have the quality and actually everything just based in Brazil, because that's where we have the connection best. And after that we will ship like at the exact amount, but only once or specific times to Asia, and then after that will be the distributors in Asia to other Asian countries. So that's how we plan regarding to sustainability, not to ship anywhere they order, something like that, but one specific region there. And yeah, if you are like really want to like add your, I don't know, like your idea regarding to sustainability, we are open. Please contact us. We would love to have your idea to put more input into this, because we are working together.
I love the enthusiasm from all of you. There are a number of more comments, recommendations here. I have a partner in Asia, send the stock there so they can ship in the area. Also consider sending it in braille, so children, for those who cannot see. That's from our inclusion advisor, Parkat. And if anybody has an idea how to make this project more sustainable and overcome the aspects which are difficult in this regard, then please share with the team. And with this, congratulations to you. 6 months you've worked on this. We saw on the screen that the big plan is until the end of next year to set up a social enterprise, and keeping fingers crossed, let us know what kind of support you need, and we will share with our youth audience and community your plans, and hopefully you get lots of positive responses as well. Congratulations. Okay, our last project for today, which we're presenting, is led by Kalyantia from Cambodia, and she was the navigator for this project. And we have also Yikbai Chi from Malaysia and from Bangladesh here with us. And their project is on well-being, and it's called the Wellbeing Platform. You are not alone. So, Kalyan, I hand first over to you. You do the introduction, and then the other two are following. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonie. Hi, everyone. Well, today's the big day. We're finally presenting our project. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, ASEF team and the Cambodian government for hosting this. It's been an intense and good experience, especially being able to meet with all the participants is very unique. Okay, so we're gonna start presenting. So the project is called You're Not Alone, Project Cambodia, because it will be based in Cambodia, at least to start with. So we decided to call it Yana because it's easy, and it's also a name in Cambodian, but also in many Asian countries and European countries. Okay, so this project with Yigwai and Lamia today, we're going to give you a short introduction and then talk about what has been done and what are the next steps. So what is Yana? As you know, well-being is very important, and it's a good thing that it's gaining more visibility, because even if it's not visible, it is as important as physical. Without well-being, we won't be able to be productive or conduct a sustainable lifestyle, or be happy with even the people around us, friend, family, or at work. So well-being and mental health is very important to contribute to the community. So Yana is a well-being and mental health care sharing platform on Facebook and Instagram. So we're not experts giving advice, but we are a media platform that will help share, help push all the different contents and highlight about the existing actors about a well-being. So our target is a youth from 18 to 35. This is just overall, but of course, if many people join younger or older, it's even better. So it's young adults who are graduating from high school, starting university. It's getting to know about your life. Young professional who from university to the working life, and young parents, which is another chapter in life too. So our aim is to raise awareness about mental health and the existing actors, because there are many actors already engaged in Cambodia, but only our population, our people don't know about it, or it's content that are in English, so they're not translated. And there's more and more people doing this, but they cannot reach all of the population. So that's what we aim to do and to help with. So who is behind the project? So we're 15 youth from Europe and Asia. Yeah, that was really complicated with the time difference, but we managed to make it. Once in a while we had everyone. So team structure, we had the management, the project management team, the legal team, marketing comm team, and expert R&D team to help us consolidate the project. So overall, we try to have regular meetings, so Zoom in average every 2 weeks when we could, follow and recap by email, and the next steps and tracks, like the homework on Google Drive. But also, the good news is who will be pushing the project forward in the future. So Lamia and Yipwa will tell you about it, but we managed to have a private Facebook with 148 members. And so why Yana? Why Yana, and how we're going to reach our target? So first of all, is to raise awareness, because Cambodia being a country that came out of a civil war, Cambodian young people usually they face very a lower rate of well-being due to the transgenerational trauma from the civil war. We had to build from scratch most of things after. Also, the impact of COVID-19 on the youth, on the young people, especially because we're social animals as humans, if I can say it like that. And with the COVID, the young people have not been able to go to school physically or do the activities that we would normally do. And also knowing that youth Cambodian represent up to 50% of the population, it's very important that the future labor force, generating the nation resource and growth, are themselves feeling good. So their well-being is very important for the growth and the prosperity of the country. So that's why we want to raise awareness through media, provide mental health resource and support by sharing the experience of the influencers, of many entrepreneurs, to create kind of like a support group and connect them with the people in the mental health field, like experts. Now I'm going to let Lamia present the timeline and what has been done.
Thank you, Karian, for the wonderful introduction for our project, about the timeline of our project and what we've done within that designated timeline and project. So our project started from June 2021, and during that period of time, we call it the study period. We established our team structure. We did a number of sessions with Cambodian speakers, and at that time I had the opportunity to do a cultural paper in order to be able to understand the cultural cross-cultural perception about mental health within different countries. So as Fabian elaborated, that we have a very multicultural team and we have people coming from different parts of the world. So I gathered certain feedback from our members, from our team members, on what the cultural view on mental health was in their respective countries and what are the taboos on mental health. And we got very intriguing and interesting views from different countries, including Romania, Spain, Cambodia, of course, and Bangladesh as well, and how the gap between how the older people, the older generation, and the youth think about the importance of mental health. So I think the cultural paper, I think, gave us a glimpse about what needs to be done in terms of the context of different countries about mental health and how mental health awareness is evolving based on different cultural contexts. Well, it was during that time we also did a survey and finalized a budget for our activities. During September to October, the second phase, we went full-fledged into our survey. We collected data and created slides to analyze. And during that time, we developed a full-fledged plan for our campaign and reached out based on our strategies. So during the third part, from November to December, it was our launching period. We started advocating and promoting it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and we did a number of webinars involving psychosocial experts and experts on mental health, so which was joined by members of our team. And we also what we also did was that I think during that time we from the surveys results that we received, we started analyzing it. And for the next slide, please, Kalyan. Yes. So for now, what the activities that we've covered till now include that we have actually we have created an advisory team of people from different universities and youth organizations, and as well as mental health experts and academicians. We have created a number of Facebook and Instagram pages. We did a survey, and based on that, we are planning to create a paper on covering our survey results. And we received actually very positive feedback and comments from the youth, and the ASEF actually helped boost our page and within their networks, and we were able to reach around 300 responses from a very small time. Thanks to our survey, we have actually now a voluntary team of 148 volunteers. And the Cambodian participants, they will actually do a handover of the project to a local youth team, so that in the future they're able to sustain it, and this project will be going forward despite our absence. And we are actually planning to promote our project through social media influencers in Cambodia. So we have selected 5 artists, include dancers, singers, activists, film artists. Along with, we'll collaborate with the experts we have selected, and they will be, I think that will give us definitely the push that we need, the promotion, the exposure that we need. So that was all from me in terms of our project activities so far, and I'll be handing over to my next presenter. Thank you so much.
Hello, good afternoon and good morning to people from these 2 time zones. Good evening as well if you are in Australia or New Zealand. So I'll be talking about what's next for our project. Since you have heard already from my colleagues, from my co-presenters, what we have been doing so far. So moving forward, we have 3 important phases to conclude this project. Number 1, campaign. So obviously our idea is to raise awareness through youth to specifically solve and reduce mental health issues among Cambodian youth, primarily youth at least. So we're gonna do our campaign from 6 to 11 December that will be the aggressive phase of our campaign promotion, in which we have already identified, as mentioned by my colleague before, certain number of influencers. I think it's 5 of them, and then certain number of experts to actually share some of their observations, insights. And as part of this, we also compile and gather the data from our survey and the WHO data and translate into Khmer language as part of the contents to provide on our social media platforms to make this movement more impactful. And in that social media campaign as well, we also have very strong call to action impact, call to action aspect of it. We ask people to join our projects and also donate to TPO, which is the most prominent mental health institution based on what I know, based on what we found out in Cambodia. So that will be part 1 of it, the campaign part. And then also we about the videos, about the social media campaign, we also have a 30 seconds video of impact messages by the 5 influencers that I've spoken of earlier to raise awareness about well-being among youth. And then it's going to be followed with 1-minute video interviews of experts, the 4 experts that I mentioned about, that answers 5 questions, simple and important questions about mental health. So moving on to our second part, second phase of it, the research paper. I think the research paper is going to be focusing on our survey data, and it will be published hopefully with Cambodian Development Center, which is one of the most prominent educational institutions as well in Cambodia when it comes to this issue. And with this large amount of data from 414 surveys, we have a lot of information needed to produce the kind of important information for people to understand more, and also to take appropriate actions to handle mental health issues in Cambodia, especially when they come from a younger generation, which is our specific target. And moving on to the third part, we have our conclusion with a webinar tentatively on 11th of December. You are all welcome to join. And then with that webinar, we'll invite people from our sponsor, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Cambodia, as well as we are also hoping to invite someone from ASEF and also someone from Ministry of Health Cambodia to basically say a few words about their insights about this project so far from us. And then we also have a panel of trade speakers from a very interesting dimension of representative of their generation. So we have one expert from TPO. We have a director of TPO, who is the research institute in this area. And then we also have a young influencer. And then we also have an expert activist to provide different perspectives in this issue. And in relation to part 2, I think we also aim to publish our findings on, prominent newspapers in Cambodia, because we're already doing a research paper. So it's only right for us to take our advocacy level to a higher level, to publish it on prominent newspapers in Cambodia, such as the Khmer Times or Phnom Penh Post or Sabai, as my Cambodian colleagues have suggested, in the simpler languages to help reach out to more youth, and also to help garner more attention to a campaign donation campaign to the relevant bodies who are currently working very hard to develop new ideas about solutions to mental health challenges in Cambodia. So I think that would be my part, and now I think we are ready to open the floor to questions.
Sorry, I just have one last thing, because we just received one of the very short first video of the campaign, so I wanted to share it, but it's 20 seconds because it's going to be very short. But we had our first one.
Mental health conditions are not fake. Caring about your well-being is how you empower yourself. I'm a cancer survivor. I've been through depression, and I'm still struggling with PTSD, but it doesn't mean I can't face it. I was not afraid to reach out for help, and now I've been following psychoanalysis for almost 2 years. Every day is a battle, but I know I'm winning a war. Today, I'm an artist, and I'm also the president and co-founder of Generation C. You are not alone.
thank you for listening. We're open for a question now.
Fantastic, fantastic and I think the comments also in the chat show you get compliments from our young leaders participants and from the online audience. I also saw here, you said you have Sophia Cow in the campaign. Well, maybe you want to share a little bit who that person, that influencer is, and it's definitely needed to reach out to them because otherwise people will not step forward with their concerns and their needs. Who's Sophia Cow? The next influencer you have on board for this campaign.
So, Sophia Cow is, because last time I shared about culture in Cambodia, and I shared that video of a Barame production showing that time to rise with the mix of the new generation, but the traditional instrumental and music. So Sophia Cow is among the same production team. She's super young and she's very talented, and she kind of take part in well-being. She's a young singer, an emerging singer in Cambodia, and the Barame production is having the ambition to become like international. So we're happy to have her, and she's gonna be part of the video campaign.
Thank you. Talking about sustainability of the project, you still have some activities to complete. Actually, to complete, it's an ongoing project. I understood that you also have engaged a number of volunteers who will take this further. If I remember correctly, there was a university also on board. Here's a question from Jana as well. What about other partnerships with organizations? What is still in planning here? I mean, you have influencers already, and then who are the partners for the sustainability in the future?
So for now, we're in partnership with the University of Buddhisastra, which is a health science and ITC university. So that's why our advisory team are the head of their research center, because they do research paper on health, but also they start to have a lot of interest in well-being. And so I'm in touch right now with their student council, head of student council, to see if they want to take over the project. But since this is still ongoing talk, we have that group Lamia talked about when we did the survey. At the end, we asked people to join a private Facebook group if they are interested in contributing in the future, and we gathered 148 members, which is very surprising. We were very happy about it, and a few already wrote in the group to ask if there's any event, how can they help with the project. So I think we're going to do like a call for youth, like motivated youth who want to take over this platform and be able to make it like a living media platform. And what we intend to do, like I said, it's not to become the experts. It's really like to go, for example, interview youth that are already in the field and give them more visibility. So our budget will be more on reaching out to people with these contents. So maybe do like short interviews, but at least through these interviews, we introduce their profile and their organization, their student club, their activities, or whatever they're fighting for, because they're all fighting for a cause for mental health.
I would like to add that the better road, the more accurate road we define ourselves is to be conversation starters in this movement. As we have found out, there is no uniform movement in Cambodia to specifically tackle this issue, Nation Starter, which is the first ever trying to put different forces together in Cambodia, specifically tackling mental health challenges for Cambodian youth. So moving forward, of course, within our 10, 13, 15 members, it's not going to be sustainable because we live in different time zones. So it would have to come from a very strong motivation from Cambodian Cambodian youth. And I think 148 members interface take this forward, and ultimately it would be great if there is some support, let's say from a Cambodian government, or to take over this project to give even more value to it than what we have created. Yeah. I think that's the sustainability that we're hoping for, and we have reasonable efforts to reach out to that goal. Yeah.
Thanks, Kwai. And I think it's built also on a very strong foundation. I mean, you have done your research, you build up the platforms, now it's outreach time, and we've heard you want to, as Kwai said, you have an aggressive campaign in December. We are happy to be part of it from ASEF side, and I think with our participants and the audience listening today, is it in Cambodian only, or is it also in English, Kalyan?
It will be in both English and Cambodian. So, for example, for the campaign, some young generation in Cambodia speak better English than Khmer. So this is another challenge in the new generation in Cambodia. So that's why all of our content will be in English and in Cambodian.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, that leads us to soon the end of our session today. Congratulations to not only the 3 of you, but your 15 team members. Fantastic initiative. Wishing you lots of success for the next weeks when you are running the number of communication campaigns, when you also have your webinar, and from ASEF side, you know you can count on us. At the beginning of the Young Leaders Summit, we ask our participants, and that's the last slide, which you see today, what are the 3 words that come into your mind when you think of good health and well-being? And next to mental health, it is happiness, it is balance, it is energy. We hope that with our projects, the 3 which our participants are working on, we can contribute that. It's all a step-by-step, little step approach, but at the end, it will become a long path to sustainable development. Finally, we'll reach our destination. So thank you so much for being with us today. We have a similar session tomorrow. We focus on SDG for quality education. Same time, same format, and I hope you learned a lot and you got inspired. And with this, wishing you a good day from Singapore. See you tomorrow.